Welcome to Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas, the go-to podcast for aspiring and seasoned leaders in the quick service restaurant industry. Each week, we serve up actionable insights and proven strategies to help you lead smarter, build stronger teams, and elevate operations. Whether you're taking your first steps into leadership or refining your expertise, we're here to fuel your growth and spark big ideas. Let's dig in.
Hello, Mr. Riley.
Hello, Mr. Eric. How are you?
Good. Excited to be talking about guests. It's like that's what we do, right?
That's what we do. We're people.
People business. We're in the hospitality business. So
yes, we are wearing the same clothes.
Well, that's all I. Yeah,
that's fine.
Matching uniforms.
Yeah, just it's what we got. In our industry, we're very busy, so we find time to record some episodes, and so you might see us wear the same stuff. But we're here to talk about some more guest stuff.
Well, does that mean they should check us out on YouTube? Subscribe.
They could
like,
subscribe. Yeah,
share.
We're on YouTube now.
Is that what we say?
Yeah.
What do you
like and subscribe? Right.
Right. Well, I never know. Like sometimes, like is it below me? Right? Am I pointing down to the subscribe or up?
Yeah. No, but I think it's down. Follow us. No, it's not. No, it's subscribe on YouTube.
Well, follow us on Spotify and Apple and wherever you get your podcasts.
Yep.
We should say that more.
Follow us wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah. Share with the team. Please.
Yeah, please. We're talking about a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like this is leadership, knowledge, and wisdom for everybody. And we want your feedback. I know we've talked about that before. So make sure, right, if you have something that you'd like to see us talk about or comments or suggestions, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. Still getting some good feedback. So we're here to keep sharing the knowledge.
Yeah. Because you're like our customers.
Yeah.
Right?
They are.
And we want your feedback just like you would want your customers' feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even if it's bad.
Even if it's bad, we'll take it.
Well, that doesn't happen though, does it? Okay, once in a while. All right. So we do. We have upset customers once in a while that are in our restaurants. So, Riley, I know that you've worked extensively and you've had a lot of good background as far as helping train some of our shift managers really in conflict resolution.
Yeah.
So would you mind sharing some of those things that you've been learning and teaching?
Yeah. So the principle that we teach is called LCR. It's not left, center, right, not the game.
I didn't know that game.
No.
All right. No.
Sorry. Listen, connect, resolve is what it stands for. So LCR, listen, connect, and resolve. And this tool is really helpful with disarming any guest that's dissatisfied and even potentially the angry guest or the really upset animated guest. Okay. LCR is a great tool that anybody should know how to use because it's great just in general life too. Personal relationships and everything. But listen, connect, resolve starts with listening. Okay. And I think a lot of times we as humans don't like to listen. We listen to respond and not to understand. And that's the key difference here is I can't listen to you if I'm already thinking of what I'm going to say to either dismiss your feedback or to tell you that you're wrong and I'm right, whatever. I'm thinking of the next thing. Mm-hmm. So I really need to take a beat and listen to understand to whatever the feedback is, whether it's coming in a normal tone or coming in a elevated, angry tone. Regardless, we listen. And just by doing that, all of a sudden, the person, right, whoever it is noticing that you're not being defensive or reactive. You are listening. Mm-hmm. So immediately, that's already going to disarm them in that sense. Okay.
So when you say listen, though, I mean we're in a fast-paced environment. Like this is like go, 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 go.
It is.
So I get what you're saying, Riley, but like how do we really are we talking like minutes? Like how long, how much do we have to
30 seconds, minute and a half tops. Okay. It can get long if you don't do it right.
Sure.
Right? If you don't find those ways or those spots to address the situation. Mm-hmm. But no, it doesn't need to take 10 minutes to listen, connect, resolve with a guest or whatever.
Well, I think to your point, and from my experience, right, like if we do listen initially off the bat, right, instead of being argumentative, defensive, or trying to solve the issue without hearing the issue, because I think when we don't listen is when it turns into those 5-10 minute conversations. Like all of a sudden there's more of an back and forth.
Well,
right?
and they're getting more worked up because you're not hearing them.
Yeah,
you're not hearing the root cause or the root issue of what they're giving you feedback on. So listening with that sense of understanding. You want to make eye contact. You want to show them that you are listening. Because if I was talking to you, Eric, and I'm listening to you, and I'm looking off, or I'm shouting to my team, drop those fries.
Sure.
I'm showing you that I don't care what you have to say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so you have to be present, which, I think just as an active listener, right? We don't always get those skills. Like, we're not always taught how to listen.
No.
Yeah.
Because again, we're kind of, humans are the what's in it for me mentality. So if it's not interesting or if I don't care, why would I listen?
Yeah.
And we have to change that behavior to, really work on it and work on our active listening skills and take that beat.
Yeah. And I think that's where you're right on track, right? Because we are in that go type of scenarios. And it's funny because the biggest complaints always come at the worst times. At least that's how I feel, right? Like when you're in the restaurant, it feels like, oh man, not right now. I've got so much going on.
Absolutely.
But because we have so much going on is probably why we've gotten the complaint.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, doing LCR, doing these things is going to potentially win back a dissatisfied guest or make a satisfied guest even more satisfied.
Sure.
Everybody has their different level of expectations, and if they're expecting, certain things and you dismiss them, well, they might have had a decent experience if you would have just listened and understood what they were saying.
Yeah, I would agree. Because I used to be the same. I used to react. I see somebody with a fry, and I just go and look to replace their fry right away, when really they may have wanted something completely different.
Absolutely.
Maybe they wanted a fry and ketchup, or maybe they wanted a fry and, a coupon. Sometimes we're quick to even give out more than what maybe the person wanted because we're not quite listening. Yeah.
And I think, too, to your earlier point about how busy we are as leaders in the restaurant, have your team learn LCR. Your team is more than capable of handling a multitude of complaints or feedback, right? To your point, is it ketchup? Is it a fry? Well, guess what? Your team member can go grab that for you, and then, hey, manager, hey, leader, this customer had an issue. I took care of it. Boom. Now you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But they need to know those skills.
Yeah, and we have to empower. I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
In my perfect world for our organization, I would love for any one of our employees to be able to do this LCR thing you're talking about, right? Like, to be able to listen, connect, and resolve the problem would be just amazing, right? Because why do we need to grab a leader or a manager every time? Because, yes, they might have a million things going on. So if our employee can take care of it,
let them.
Why not? What are we scared of? But anyways,
if it gets to a point where they aren't comfortable, or then absolutely grab your manager.
Yeah.
But there's no reason you can't help change that visit from a negative to a positive using LCR.
Yeah.
So moving on to C.
Yeah, please.
Connect. This one is kind of the bread and butter of this whole thing.
Okay.
Like, obviously listening is important. But when you connect with guests or connect with people in general, you're automatically making them feel good or heard or understood or important, valued. All those adjectives make them feel that way when you connect with them. And when I say connecting with them, I mean genuinely try to connect with them. It doesn't have to be some big thing that you connect with. It could be something small, but genuinely show that you mean it. So the example that I have with this is it's super basic. Guest comes in and they came in through drive-thru and they say, my fries were really, really cold. And they want to talk to an employee. Let's say it's a crew person. We'll go with that, right?
I like it.
I'm a crew person, right? And I
want to talk to your boss.
and this person comes in and they're not necessarily screaming or yelling, but they're dissatisfied. You can see their body language. They're not happy. Now, typically a manager would step in and, let me handle this. Well, no, I'm a crew person. What's going on, sir? What can I help you with? Hey, I was just in the drive-thru. I waited about 5 minutes and my fries are super, super cold. Oh man, I am so sorry, sir. Like, I can't imagine. I'm so sorry. I would also really hate if my fries were cold. You just paid like $3 for those.
Yeah.
I'd want them to be hot too.
Yeah.
Now all of a boom.
Yeah.
Now he's, whatever feelings he had, he's like, oh my gosh, not only is this employee taking care of it, they're a crew person, they're not a manager, but they're connecting with me and understanding what my issue is.
So when you're saying connecting, just to help me in my head here, kind of click on this, you're talking more about being able to agree with the guest as well, and putting ourselves in their shoes, which sometimes within that environment, it can be a little bit tough to switch that thing, but it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like if you come to me, you're upset, like I agree with you. I wouldn't want to pay $3 for cold fries either. Like that makes sense.
Yeah,
you're making it sound easy though.
Because, it can be, but it takes that practice because again, we innately are not looking to I don't know. We're busy. We're closed off. And in a previous episode, we talked about how we get defensive with feedback.
Yep.
And it's them. Oh, we can never please them. We can't do this. We can't do that. Where really it's how do we change that mindset in our head to, what if I got this experience?
Yeah.
What if I was sitting in drive-thru for 5 minutes and got cold fries? Yep. The putting yourself in their shoes, that exercise can really help you reframe your mindset and how you react and how you can make it right and connect with these guests and really leave them satisfied.
Yeah. And you're because we've all been there. I've waited in line for a long time. Okay. I've gotten bad service. I've gotten bad quality. I've gotten bad. Unless
you live under a rock, you've probably had a bad experience.
Yeah. So owning up to it, I think, is just that's great because you'll have most of the customers just want us to make it right. And we don't always trust the guest to just, I guess, want that from us, and we can't deliver on it.
Well, sometimes they also just want us to understand.
Yeah.
Because, again, we get defensive in the industry, and we try to deflect or make excuses, and that's not what they want to hear.
Yeah.
They want a genuine apology, and they want you to understand where they're coming from. That's the connect part, right? And then the R is resolving.
Okay.
So make it right. And let them help you make, how can I make this better?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love a fresh fry.
Yeah.
Done. And I'm also going to throw in an apple pie for you.
Wait, always with the pie. I like it. Pies, desserts solve everything.
I mean,
right?
For me.
Well, it's true. I grew up.
Pie.
I grew up. It's just we always throw that dessert in, and that's not a bad thing because you do want to go that extra mile, right?
That's what I'm saying.
It's about that satisfied guest to loyal guest in our previous episodes, right? Like how do we not just make it right, but how do we go the extra mile to show them that we care, that we care about the fact that it was an inconvenience to you, right? Like you had to get out of your car to walk in to go get that fry, and it was an inconvenience. Now all of a sudden we're looking to offer things to make it right. I don't know. I've had probably half the guests, if not more, say, no, thank you. I just want my fry.
Yeah.
But we're being authentic, though.
Right.
Like we're being real with the customer and we're offering these things and we're doing everything we can to make it right. And that's when most of our guests, I'm going to tell you, nope, I just wanted my fry.
Yeah. I just want this fixed, right? I want to give another example. That's maybe not necessarily product related, but maybe some other way, right? So let's say there's a couple that comes in and they get their food. Let's say they're dining in. They sit down. Their food is brought out to them, and the person who brings the food out is just relatively, let's just say, unpleasant or rude, right? Yeah. Dismissive. Anything else? Can I get you anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get some ketchup? Sure.
Yeah.
And we bring them the ketchup, right? And maybe they enjoy the meal. Everything is perfect, but that interaction. So, and then maybe that couple works in the industry, or maybe they don't, and maybe they just felt kind of weird, right, about the interaction. So maybe they approach the GM or the shift leader, and they say, hey, this person was kind of rude. So now you're talking about your teammate, right?
Yep.
How do you still find that listen, connect, resolve? And I think it goes back to just being able to receive feedback. So, hey, thanks for telling me. I understand that maybe didn't help your experience or
Sure.
that ruined your experience. I'll make sure to talk to them. Is there anything else I can do? Because again, we can resolve for that stuff too. Yep. Is there anything I can do to help make that experience better for you? Yep. And that way now they feel like you understood them. You're going to take action. You're going to talk to them about their customer service skills, and you offered to whatever, pie, coupon, or whatever.
Here's your pie.
Yeah, here's your pie.
But no,
did that make sense?
You're right.
Because it's not always just a cold fry or accuracy issues. It could be other stuff.
Because I've heard it before, right? The person in back cash, they were very rude, or they weren't paying attention, or they just said $3 instead of saying hi. Even like usually it's there's a little bit more to the hospitality part than I think we've discussed so far. So you bring up a very valid point. We have to show our team and our guests just the same how much we care, right? And I think if a customers come to us and say that, it is about saying, so thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. You get to see things in a different light than I did, and I can't wait to coach them and make us better for the next visit.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what they want. That's what at least me as a customer, that's what I want to hear. If I'm coming to you, I want you to take the opportunity to improve because I want to come back and I want service to be and meet my expectations. So they're giving you that gift. Yeah. And they're giving you the chance. And we can't be dismissive of that. And you don't want to just sit there and coach the person right in front of them. Like that's not the intent, right? But like you're right. Hey, give me 5 minutes. Once everything settles down, I'm going to have a really good conversation with them. Thank you so much for allowing me that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I know it sounds weird, right? Like it sounds like I get it, right? Like it sounds a little, I don't know, corporate-y or whatever you want to say. Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of times we'll be like, my sandwich was made wrong. Oh, I'll tell the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that they know that. Okay. But do we actually have that conversation? Or is it just I'm busy? I'll tell them, and then I don't.
And if we do have the conversation with our team, is it with the right intent, with the right conversations? Because I've heard it before, and I'm sure you have too. Hey, kitchen manager, the food's cold. Get your stuff together, right? Like it can't be. And then we just yell it, right? Instead of going and maybe having a more personal touch, and then we can refer to all the feedback. Hey, in the voice surveys, the 800 feedback, and we put all that data together. And all of a sudden now
we can come up with an action plan or a consistent plan of attack to change that feedback.
All right, we are corporate-y because now we're talking action plans, and I wasn't always huge on action.
Yeah, you didn't like action plans.
No, but it's great. Like but they work, right?
And people want I don't know, if somebody were to approach me and be like, Riley, here's the deal, you're serving a lot of cold food.
Yeah.
What's going on? Oh, I'm struggling back here. Whatever. Yep. Cool. Well, let's do this. Let's move this person back here to help you for the dinner rush. Let's do this. Let's do that. Cool. Go. Yep. Now I feel supported and not blamed for those comments. Yeah. But now there's a way forward.
And we're going down a completely different episode. I feel.
We are,
but sharing the guest feedback with the intent to really support your team, I think is there, right? Like the intent of my conversation, I'm going to share guest feedback, but the intent is to make this better. And if we're openly sharing guest feedback with our team, and we're using it the way that it should be used, and not as a trigger to potentially make somebody feel bad about what they're trying to do or the quality of product they're putting out there. Like if we do it the right way and we have consistent conversations, I think guest feedback can literally be used to really benefit just not the organization, not the restaurant, but everybody within the organization. Yeah, because you don't know what you don't know, right? And if you don't know you're serving bad food, you just don't know. Yeah. So I think from a resolution standpoint, can we just circle on that for a second? Like, how do you know? And in your opinion, how do you feel that you did resolve it correctly? Like because sometimes people just. So how do you know? How do you know the customer's leaving? Happy?
Well, I would tell you the one thing that I would probably look for is body language. Okay. How did they come into the conversation and how are they kind of going out of the conversation? Has their body language shifted? Is it closed off? Is it open? How does it look? You know? And then are they just appreciative of what you did and how do you feel? Are we thanking them and making sure hey, I can't wait to see you again. Thanks for letting me make this right. And then, how do they feel after that?
Yeah. I think I would agree. Body language is huge, right? Because I know when I'm not completely satisfied with the resolution, it's more that I got my fry and I'm going to, I'm still walking out kind of angry, right? But it's kind of like that light feeling when you do get it right. Yeah. So I think as a customer, it does make a huge difference. And then I like your response around, inviting the guest back. Yeah. Hey, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. Can't wait to see you on the next time, and we're going to look to get that right for you the next visit. So this is good stuff. I think the LCR is huge. I think being able to run through scenarios with your team, right? Like Absolutely. If you're truly looking to empower your team to handle some of these issues that I know that we can handle, no matter what title you have within our organization, there's a lot that we can personally handle. But it was funny because as you're running through scenarios, it's like, well, what would I do and what is the right answer? So role playing is kind of weird.
I was just going to say role play.
It is, but role play.
But it's good. Yeah. It's good practice in a safe space, right? That's the key. Because a lot of our team members maybe just don't have these skills or have never used these skills before, and so it feels awkward or foreign to them.
Yep.
But if you use role play as an example or as a way to build those skills in a safe space, there's nothing to say that they won't be the best person to listen, connect, resolve on your team.
They might even be better than us because they have the time, right? They're not distracted by the million things, and they have the time to spend with that customer to make it right. So,
Absolutely.
The sky's the limit as far as empowering and developing the team, and they're probably more capable than you think.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I love LCR. I can remember that. I can use that, and I appreciate you sharing it with us.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to listen, learn, and lead. We'll see you.
Thanks for joining us on Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas. We hope today's episode inspired fresh ideas for your leadership journey. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and keep learning with us as we continue to explore leadership in the QSR world. Until next time, take care and lead well.